Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Capricorn collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Cappies in early May? It is Taurus season, my good friends. Let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Capricorn in early May. Taurus season is upon us. Let's see what the vibe is. What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick, and there we go. This is a very contemplative type of energy. Definitely inward facing, a lot of reflection here. And this card does give me some similarities between the Six of Cups and the Tarot deck. And it's very intriguing to me. This energy really feels like it's mulling something over. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady. She has her eyes closed, holding the hand to the face. Little locket here that is illuminated. Got the baby doll, we got notes and letters. So to me, it's someone doing a lot of reflection on the past specifically. Not only that, but yeah, lockets to me represent memories. So again, maybe some Capricorns in this time, you're taking some trips down memory lane, right? Or thinking about things that have already happened, things that have already transpired. This does have a really strong link to the past for some reason. Now, that's not the only thing. Again, it could be thinking, so watch out for the overthinking. That's a downside to this card because it's like I'm mulling something over, thinking about it. So yeah, watch out for that circular type of thought process. But there's also communication here, especially with like the notes where it's like, yeah, there's something that I either want to address or should address. There's interesting stuff here. So yeah, the good thing about it, it's very much self-reflective. So for some Cappies, maybe you're just pulling your energy inward, doing a lot of inner work and self-reflection. In the rough sense, this could be somebody really dwelling on something. So we're going to let her chill right there. She's having a moment. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the Capricorns, please. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It felt favorable to me. The reading was titled Big Breakthrough Incoming. So whether it was related to work, personal relationships, to me, I was picking up like a pressure build and then boom, a breakthrough. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. There could be a lot of different areas of life where you might see big results rather quickly. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going here. Capricorn. 3 cards to start for my good friends. Quick, super quick. Okay, 4 of Pentacles. Now, that's a very polarizing energy. I always say, depending on what it's representing, if it's work, money related, I love it. If it's personal relationships, that's something we do want to keep a pretty close eye on. Let's get a couple more here. Let's get a couple more. Ace of Cups. Okay. Yeah, so we do have this like reflective inward energy still starting to show up, especially here with this Ace of Cups. Let's get one more out here. Then we'll piece it together. Nice, cool. Yeah, and there's the mulling it over once again, my friends. We got the 4 of Cups right here. So we got double 4s happening. We got the number sign, synchronicities, lots of interesting elements that usually work very well with Capricorn. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always love to look at the elements real quick just to see, because I feel like it frames the reading. It tells me how comfortable the energy might be for you. And we have a nice mixture here. We have a nice earth and water mixture, which is great for earth signs. So for a lot of Capricorns, I always say the combination of the two represent blessings and abundance to me, which is really great. And obviously the double 4s. So we're going to need to keep an eye for like omens and synchronicities. But when it comes to earth, That's your power element. That's your comfort zone. It could represent security and stability. So whether it's inward or outward, it's like I have a nice baseline energy. It could represent day-to-day life, routine, things that we do normally. Earth energy is great when it comes to money, abundance, work, career, investments, you name it. Home and family could also be in play. So the earth element to me represents the world that we live in. Then we have water right here, which is complementary to Capricorn energy. But water represents emotional, so that inward facing energy we've been speaking about. So it could be creative and expressive. It's very artistic, so I love it for that. Thinking outside of the box, it's really nice. But this is also the suit that represents interpersonal relationships and connections. Um, it could just be one's emotional state. That's another thing when we have a lot of water. But the downside to the water element is that sometimes it could be so intense. It could like pull you under and overwhelm. So that's something we want to watch out for. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with our first four. We have the Four of Pentacles. And as I mentioned, I don't see this as a challenge card necessarily. Some readers do, and I get why. And we see this little individual here clasped on to these pentacles, holding on to it and not letting go. So when it comes to business, money, work, finance, all that earthly type of stuff, I love this because it's someone that's in pentacle mode, stacking them. I mean, for some of you, maybe your mind is more focused on finances and career when this is showing up. Great time to save. Great time to invest when this energy shows up. So I love it for that. But the downside to it, when we look at the personal relationships, it's an energy that's not letting go of something. So whether it's suppression, pushing something down, 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 there could be a transmutation of energy going on here where it's like I'm trying to mull something over, similar to like what we've been seeing. But the worst case scenario, this energy could be possessive. It could represent jealousy. You see what I mean? It's an energy that like refuses to let go of something or a narrative. So yeah, sometimes it can be a little grudgy. So we do want to look at this and see what's happening. But again, I don't feel like it ruins the reading or anything like that, because for some of you with work and finance, this could actually be a really great thing. Now, moving to the center, as we get this Four of Pentacles lined right back where he belongs, we have a great card, actually. We have the Ace of Cups. Nice. Now, I always say when it comes to all aces, they're fresh and new energy. They represent offers, opportunities, and conversations to me generally. So this is great in any form. Now, since it is the Ace of Cups, it does tie more into those feelings and emotions. In its best case, it does give the warm and fuzzies. So I think it can be really good. Um, Again, it might just give us some hints about how someone's feeling or their emotional state, whether it's like pretty even keeled or up and down. We're going to need to clarify to see what's up. So, in the positive sense, yeah, it could just be a really great conversation, some good, exciting news, or a big offer of some kind, whether it's like a material based one or an emotional offer. We do want to look and see what's up. But the downside to aces is that they're not always guaranteed. It's normally like limited time. um, it could be flighty, right? So we do want to really look at it, especially with the Four of Pentacles, because it's like you might not want to wait too long here, because this energy might wait a little too long. Now, moving to the back end, we have the Four of Cups, and it's very similar to that first card we saw. You see this lady, she's kind of just sitting under the tree. It's like she's having a little nap, taking a snooze. The universe is handing her, literally, the Ace of Cups. So it shows up twice within this, where it's like the universe is like, hey, hey, look at this, take this. This is coming up for you, which is really nice. But it's thinking, thinking, thinking. So in the good sense, yes, I love the creativity. I love the dreaminess. I love the thinking outside of the box. But this is a huge recipe for like overthinking and dwelling. So that's something we want to watch out for. I mean, it's very imaginative. I do think of daydreams, so I like it for that. But it's interesting to me how we have like Four Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and then this cup trying to be handed off here. But she's just in her head for some reason. So we're going to need to see how all this plays. I'm feeling pretty neutral about it at the moment, but I want to dive deeper on all the Capricorn. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Four of Pentacles. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Capricorn, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Four of Pentacles. Why do we got that Four of Pentacles here? Hermit. Okay. All right, so this is big Virgo energy. Again, it's more earthiness. I do love this for business work and finance. So, again, if you've been having some pressure there, if you've been having any issues, situations with work, business, or finance, this is something that just seems to work itself out, if that makes sense. That might be a good thing for some of you, where it's like, might be taking a little longer than I'd like, but something just seems to work itself out where, like, you might just need to give it time. But when it comes to the Hermit, it is very wise. So, like, this inward facing double four contemplative type of energy has been a very persistent theme for you this week. So it's like, just think about it a little longer. I know it's like that odd balance, right? Because we have this energy that could overthink, and then we have a lot of the mind stuff going here. So we want to keep a close eye as we move further. But the Hermit to me is retracted, pulled back. It's very singular. It's very hush hush quiet. So again, when I see the Four of Pentacles clamped down, Hermit right underneath it, it's like I'm locking this up and I'm just turning the key and I'm putting that key in my pocket and I'm not going to say anything about it. So I don't want to quite say that it's a secretive energy, but it is most definitely like a suppressive. I'm not going to say anything yet. I'm not going to do anything yet. I'm not going to cause any problems. I'm not going to cause waves, if that makes sense. So for some Capricorns, maybe you're just in your own lane doing your own thing, right? Your usual routine. And it's like, no, don't want that. Don't want that stuff going on. It's very singular, but we're just going to keep moving. Like the energy seems like it wants privacy too. That's like a very interesting thing to me. Four of Pentacles with the Hermit. It's like I'm just going to sit here and do nothing for a little while. So maybe it's advice for some of you as well, where it's like, hey, sometimes there's a need for action. Sometimes the best action is no action. That's kind of how this feels. Where it's I'm going to hold the line for a minute. I'm not going to do or say anything yet. I'm going to give this a little bit of time. So we're going to keep going, see what shows up. Maybe there's someone waiting on something too. That's very possible. But what's going on in the Four of Cups? Lots of messages coming through with that. So why is the Ace of Cups here? And we'll get to the four. Why is that Ace of Cups here? Okay. I mean, so we have the Lovers in reverse underneath this Ace of Cups. Now, for some of you, just watch. There could be someone that you're close to that might not be going through the best time. Big Gemini energy. And Lovers in the reverse isn't the worst case scenario, right? I just want to say that. A lot of times when we see that card, we're like, oh no, what's going on here? Obviously, the Lovers can represent relationships of any kind, not just romantic. So, like friends, family, you name it. So, when I see the Ace of Cups with this, it's like, ooh, they're either going through a rough one or there's something off. Just watch out for trying to extract information. There's something here with that, like especially with the conversation and the Lovers and then this energy that's holding something in. There could be a situation or something where it's like, I need more information, I need more facts, and it's like an energy that wants to extract it. I think with whatever it is that could pop up or that's going on, where it's like you don't want to force it. Like you don't want to crowbar something or force something that is not necessary. But yeah, just watch out for that because there could absolutely be someone you're connected to, even if it's not you. What I mean, maybe you're worried about someone, maybe you're stressing about someone, maybe you notice that like, oh, they look like they're going through a rough one. That's how this feels to me, where it's like I'm concerned for somebody else. So we really want to get over to this, especially with all the stuff we've been seeing about the mindset and mind state. So we're just going to put that down there. I mean, I do think a good talk or conversation could absolutely help this energy a little bit, but it's like, yeah, but you can't force it. You know, sometimes where it's like, hey, I know you don't want to talk right now, but if you need to, I'm here. It's like one of those. So maybe that's the better route or the best route to dealing with whatever. Because I do have this strong energy about not forcing, letting time do what it's going to do. Let's go in on the Four of Cups. Let's see what that's about. So why is the Four of Cups here? Okay. So this energy does feel a little wound up to me. It feels a little wound tight, and I do think that's something to watch out for because the Ten of Pentacles, usually in the upright, is a beautiful, beautiful energy, but when it's in reverse, it's upheaval. You know, perspective is huge when it comes to like anything and everything, right? Like a lot of times people don't see things through the same light we do. And when I see the Four of Cups with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, the perspective is skewed here. I do think that this could be like anxiety, nervousness. And again, I'm not saying it's coming from you, but with this, it's like, I'm thinking worst case scenario. I'm thinking worst case scenario. So just watch out for that type of thinking as well, because if certain things pop up or certain people are acting different ways, it's like, I'm thinking the worst right away. And I think it would be best to maybe avoid that if possible, right? I'm not trying to give advice, no judgment here. But the Ten of Pentacles in reverse is a bit of doom, right? It's a little bit of doom and gloom when I see it. So again, in this time, there could be somebody that's a little extra wound tight. There's just something about their perspective. I think giving it time and space is the best route. And again, if this is you, if there's like someone you're pissed at and you don't really want to talk to them and you don't want to talk about it, and then we have the Four of Cups, um, then be kind and empathetic towards yourself too, right? Like you don't have to solve everything in one shot in one day. It's like, all right, it's a little bit of time right here. I think time can help whatever this is. But yeah, I do feel like someone could be anxious, nervous, and a little bit of doom and gloom when I see this on the back end for whatever reason. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. So intriguing, very cerebral, very inward facing type of energy this week. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we start with the Four of Pentacles and the Hermit. Someone that's like pushing something down and locking the door, right? Where it's like, I'm keeping this to myself. Now, in the good sense, I love this for like work, business, and finance, especially if there's some tension there. To me, it's like, yeah, time will work this out, or time could fix this, which I think is great. There could be something where spirit's like, hey, don't force it, don't take action. Sometimes the best action is no action. Moving to the middle, we have the Ace of Cups with the Lovers in reverse. There could be someone close to you that's a little off, or that you're even worried about when I see this energy. Especially with all the solitude here, I think low pressure is the best way to go, because even when we go to the back end, Four Cups with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, worst case scenario type of thinking. And I do get like the stressed, anxious, nervous type of energy. So that's just something to watch out for. Not saying that like every single day in the upcoming weeks it's going to be but again, the energy to me feels like time can help it, whatever it is, whether it's your side or someone else's. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. Let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card going. Thank you. Okay, Devil. So that is your power card. I don't want anyone getting too nervous about the Devil showing up in the shadows. And just to state it for those of you that are newer to tarot, like Devil is the Capricorn card due to the goat symbolism, okay? Not because of the rough meanings and any of that kind of stuff. And similar to what I was seeing in a lot of the reading, the Devil's actually very good when it comes to material world things, earthly work, business, money. So that could be a good thing, especially if it's one of your power cards. Now, the fact that this is a Capricorn reading does make it a little different, because the Devil for you guys could represent how one views the self and how one treats the self. So now might be a great time to spoil yourself a little bit. Self-love, self-care, all that good kind of stuff. But the Devil can also represent an energy that feels like it's not moving, that could feel stuck, where it's like, I've been dealing with this for a long time and I'm still dealing with it. So watch out for that stuck feeling, especially with the stuff we were seeing within the reading itself. Yeah, sometimes the Devil could represent toxicity and, habits and constraints, and I don't really want to go down that road. But to me, it's more so about how one treats oneself. So make sure you're not just being kind to others, but be kind to yourself. So we're going to leave it at that, Capricorn. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom-made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.